What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another bodybuilding news video. And today we're discussing James Hollingshead. Is he taking a year off, and is he going to be in a new bodybuilding movie coming out? Hadi Choopan is in the USA, plus we've got a physique update from him. Cbum versus Ramon Dino versus Urs Kalecinski. We've got physique updates from all these three guys and top contenders for the 2022 Classic Physique Olympia. And let's get into James Hollingshead to start off this video. And this is his most recent physique update. As you can see here on the screen right now, it says a lovely night of KFC, roast dinner, and pizza. Weight back up for a few days, and then we just do what we've been doing. Use the food, train hard, and enjoy it. 6 and a bit weeks out. So I think by this physique update, James Hollingshead is looking fantastic. His waist looks small. Let me know in the comments what you think about James Hollingshead, whether you're watching live or on replay. But I'm very, very impressed with how he's looking right now. And he had a few interesting things to say as well on the latest episode of Bro Chat. And he did speak a little bit about when he might sort of either finish up bodybuilding or the fact that he might actually take a year off after this year's Mr Olympia. So we'll get to that. I'll find that in the video that I've made up.
Like in my head, I'm kind of like, after this year, this is not confirmation, but I think if I was to do another show, it'd be not until like 2024 Arnold.
Really?
Yeah. So I have a nice amount of time. I want to focus on getting some stuff in place. And then I'm only going to be 35 when that comes about. It's not, and I think my body could do with a nice break anyway.
Are you doing Olympia?
Wait a minute. I'm doing this Olympia. Yeah.
Be careful, James.
Yeah, I did.
So Phil had obviously warning James about being careful, when he sort of goes on to mention a little bit about, taking time off the stage and getting comfortable with that. We've seen it with, several other bodybuilders in the past. And I think many bodybuilders think, maybe when they get to James' age or a little bit older, they'll take, a year off or whatever, give themselves a break, and they get comfortable in life. And as a younger bodybuilder, I never understood that. But now that I'm older, I definitely do understand that. And Joseph in the comments says, is Hadi in the US? Yes, he is. And we've got some news on that coming up as well. But yeah, it's surprising to hear James will have a year off potentially next year. It's not confirmed, as he said, but he might actually, take the time off until 2024, early 2024. It sounds like longer than it is. But really, if he does the Olympia in December, which is just before Christmas, it's going to be at the start of 2024. So it's just over a year between competing. So it's not a huge amount of time. And that's really the same amount of time, or actually maybe even a little bit less, than we're going to see Brandon Curry on stage for. So it's not like he's taking a huge amount of time off. It sounds crazier than it is, but when you think Brandon Curry competed at the Olympia in October last year, yeah, it's about the same amount of time that Brandon Curry is between him competing. Actually, no, that's not right, because he did the Arnold. But if, whoever did the Olympia last year, Big Ramy, that's a good example. When he did the Olympia last year, the time it's going to take for him to be on the Olympia stage this year, it's already been over a year since we've seen Ramy on stage at a competitive bodybuilding contest. So it's not that crazy that James wants to take off until early 2024, and he can concentrate on a few things as well, still have a solid off season, make improvements, and just sort of go from there.
A film, a short film that actually managed to get into a couple of film festivals.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to be filming a full-length film with him next year. Like a full film. So that's interesting.
What is the film? Can you tell?
The film is based on what we do. It's based on a bodybuilder.
Really?
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be the synopsis is like, without saying too much, it's like they're acclimating to today's times. A bodybuilder that has to understand, the changes and go through that, because how things are so different.
So that's awesome. So great news that James is actually going to be appearing in a full film, and it's going to be about bodybuilding as well. I love to hear this sort of stuff, and you never know which one of these films is going to sort of be a hit and sort of take off. We obviously have had several in the past. We have the Generation Iron original film that came out. People sort of forget now that that was just an original film. That's how Generation Iron started. Then it turned into the media, bodybuilding media and news company it is now. And then you had other films, obviously like Pumping Iron back in the day. That was a very low budget one with Arnold Schwarzenegger before he was a big name, and that became huge. So very excited for James Hollingshead and to see what happens with his new movie that's coming out. And hopefully he does very well at the Olympia. Maybe we'll actually reconsider taking that time off, or maybe we'll take the time off and come back in early 2024. But Hadi Choopan is in the USA. This is the one that you guys have all been waiting for. You can see him here with his coach, Hany Rambod. Hany Rambod posted this up and says, look who made it to Dallas. at Hadi Choopan, which is Dallas, is where Hany Rambod actually resides now. Says, thank you, Evagen Nick, for all your hard work on making this happen. So I think Evagen Nick is basically Hany's right-hand man that obviously works with Evagen Nutrition. So huge news. Hadi Choopan is in the US. Everyone will be very excited for this one. There was doubt about if he was actually going to get a visa. I heard Nick Trigilli speak about this and heard that sort of spread around the bodybuilding community. But great news. This is Hany's right-hand man. He obviously we have to thank partially for Hadi Choopan getting into the USA and being able to compete in potentially one of the best, if not the best, Mr. Olympia of all time. I know everyone's hesitant to say the best lineup, but I think once all these guys' careers are said and done, we're going to look at these names and go, wow, this is one of the best Olympias ever, especially with guys coming up as well, because we have sort of the old guard go out with the Phil Heaths, the Dexter Jacksons, the Kai Greens, they're out now. And now we have this new blood, the Andrew Jacks, the Crizzos, the Nick Walkers are coming out, the Hunter Labradas. It's super, super exciting. And Hadi Choopan is still a young guy. I believe he's not even 35 yet. I remember checking his age. I think he's around 33, 34, might be 35, but he's not an older guy in this lineup. So he's still making improvements. This is his latest physique update. I assume since he just got into the US, I think, let's look back. I think Hany might even be wearing the same t-shirt. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. No, not that one. Oh, he's actually wearing a hoodie over top of it, so we can't tell. Hardy's obviously wearing a different t-shirt, so I don't know if it is the same day or if it just happened, because these photos were posted up. Like Hardy posted up the ab one, this one here, and then it was soon after Hany posted up this. So potentially Hardy's been there for a few days. Maybe they got a workout in, and then this was posted up. This one was posted up after. I'm not too sure, but great news for Hardy's in the US. And he has 7 weeks to train for the 2022 Mr. Olympia in the US as well. This is different to what he's had in the past. In the past, I think he's come out, even some of the past Olympias, I believe when he placed third behind, I think that was behind William Bonac and Brandon Curry. Might be wrong on that one. It might have been the year after, actually. But he got in, I think it was like the day before prejudging or something. Now, that is very, very hard to do. And I believe there's actually, I think it was the year after. I think it was 2020. And he came back so much better at finals. And it's because obviously he was probably rushing to carb up and do all that sort of stuff. And a huge amount of stress on a bodybuilder as well, not being able to make it, potentially not being able to make it and making it at the last minute. So that's got to be hugely stressful. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. How do you think Hadi Choopan will do having 7 weeks, his last 7 weeks, to prepare in Dallas with his coach, Hany Rambod, right there? And someone in the comments, Big Mano says Hadi is 35. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, he's definitely not an older guy. So we've got guys definitely competing into their 40s. I know Big Rami's older than Hadi. Brandon Curry's older than Hadi. But then you got a bunch of young guys in behind Hadi. So he's sort of like right in his prime right now. So let me know how you think he'll do at the 2022 Mr. Olympia. We have a poll up right now. I'll actually open up and see where we're at the end of this video. So make sure you do vote on that one if you are watching live. And if you aren't watching live, just let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, let's move on to these classic physique guys going head-to-head in physique updates. This is the latest from Urs Kalecinski, and he's looking really, really good. He looks like his physique's matured. He's got more lines. He's got more density. I'm very, very impressed with the gains he's made since that Arnold Classic and Boston Pro, which he won with Boston Pro, placed 4th in the Arnold Classic. But I think he was perhaps a little bit flat at that Arnold. So I think we're going to see a better Urs this time around. I'll try to get him on Bodybuilding University. I'll get him on for a one-on-one interview as well, because we do want to see him and his great personality too. So Ramon Dino. Sorry, guys. Talking probably a little bit fast. I'm getting dry, but Ramon Dino is looking fantastic in his latest physique update. I think what we need to see from Ramon, I think this is a fantastic look. I think he's improving. He's just got a great physique. I think most guys would actually want to look like him. Tiny, tiny waist. He still has that really clean, fresh muscle as well. And you can see on his left bicep, on the right on your guys' screen, that bicep's getting some deep detail on that inner part right near delt too. So that looks really, really impressive. I think with Ramon, it's just more years in the gym for him. I think his muscle just needs to harden a little bit because of the conditioning level we're seeing in the classic physique. And he comes in great condition too, so it's no knock on him. I think he just needs to just keep improving. And he's got some really good body parts. Like having, I think, big arms in classic, it's not a prerequisite, really. It's more about the structure and the shape. but you can hold a lot of muscle in those areas and it doesn't add a huge amount more weight to your physique. So if you've got really big legs and really big adductors, it adds a lot of weight to your physique. So you're sort of taking up room in that classic class on body parts that sort of, if you added a kilo to your arms compared to a kilo to your legs, it's going to look like a lot more on your arms. So he's got those really thick forearms, really big arms, really miniature waist as well. So there's not much weight being held in his physique through the midsection, obviously, and through here even as well. So he's very, very impressive. I think he's going to continue to improve as he gets harder and crisper. I think he's going to do better and better. And people give their predictions as well for the Classic Physique Olympia in the comments as well. We've got Omid Fazeli says, my prediction for Classic: 1 Cbum, 2 Terrence, 3 Ramon, 4 Urs, and 5th Breon. And they're pretty good predictions. That might be pretty similar to mine. I might even just switch Urs and Ramon around. I'm not too sure, but it's going to be a great contest, and I cannot wait to see how these guys do. But we've got an update from the big dog, the main man, Cbum, Chris Bumstead, hitting some bodybuilding poses. Sorry, I'll go back to that. So got him here hitting a traditional crab, most muscular, and he looks like his physique's filled out. So I remember seeing him do this next to Big Ramy. I should have actually put that photo in here. He's a lot thicker than that now. His upper body overall is a lot thicker. Working with Hany Rambod, obviously for the first time after making that switch from his brother-in-law, Ian Valliere. And I've got to say, he's looking really, really good this far out, 7 weeks out. It actually might have been a little bit of time ago as well. So it might have been 8 weeks out or something like that. But regardless, if this is 7 weeks out, he still looks on track. So if it is a little bit ago, then that's even better for him. So very impressed with the latest from Cbum, Chris Bumstead. But guys, let me know what you think. Can anyone beat Cbum at the 2022 Mr Olympia in the Classic, obviously? Because to me, I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion, but he's got to be the strong favorite. I mean, it's maybe like a 90% chance, maybe higher, but he wins this year's Mr Olympia. Guys, can you see anyone actually beating Cbum with the way he's looking right now? I think it would take some sort of a health issue or something and him missing his peak for him to actually miss this, or some sort of injury, because he has actually had a bit of a quad injury recently. I noticed he mentioned this in a couple of videos. So that's a possibility too. Maybe get some information there, holds a ton of water in one quad, throws off his look, potential. Because in bodybuilding, if someone had, slightly watery hamstring or something like that, and it's just one of them, it might not get as criticized as much as something in the Classic, because Classic really, these guys are all so good and so sort of close that one thing like that can really throw off a whole physique and maybe drop you several places. So for Cbum, it might just drop him to second if that sort of issue did come up. But as long as he doesn't have those issues, and I'm sure he's going to be very, very careful about this sort of stuff, because Cbum is obviously such a big name and such a big factor in our industry. He does not want to lose that Classic Physique Olympia title, that's for sure. And obviously that's probably why he's brought on Hany as well, just so he can definitely stay locked into his prep. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Can anyone beat Cbum at the 2022 Mr Olympia? Vote on the poll or go to the results right now. And let me know, where will Hadi Choopan place at the 2022 Olympia? Sorry, just get a bit of playback from that. So where will he place? 10% of you guys said he'll place first. 50% are saying second to third, which is where he's been placing the last few years. It's changed now to 51%. And then 33% of you saying 4th to 5th, and then 7% are saying 6th or lower. I think he'll be in that 2nd to 3rd spot, or maybe even 4th to 5th. It's hard to say. I'm going to say 2nd and 3rd, just because he's going to be there with Hany Rambod for the rest of his Mr Olympia prep. But I mean, Brandon Curry and also Big Ramy will be very hard to beat this year's Mr Olympia. See if you guys have any questions here in the comments. Pop up a few of your guys' things right now. I can't see anyone beating Cbum this year. Likewise, Chris gone big. Ramon's been working out. Yeah. First I've seen of Ramon, impressive structure, and V taper is crazy. Yeah, man, he's got a very, very crazy physique. It's super, super impressive. That's about it. You guys don't have too many questions. So let's wrap up this video. Guys, let me know what you think about all the topics discussed in this one. What do you think about Ramon? What do you think about Cbum? What do you think about Urs? And what do you think about James Hollingshead potentially taking a year off? And hopefully his movie goes really, really well for him. But anyway, guys, that's it for this one. If you guys liked and appreciated this content, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up for myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. So that's it for me, guys. For Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are